We'll take over from where we left in the previous video. We'll try to send the request now to the actual Redis queue. So Redis channel is where your message is actually going to be put into the queue. So let's create a message, and then let's send message to queue. The service actuator here. Input channel is going to be Redis channel, and I'm going to accept a message. And let's create to send a message to the queue, you need an adapter which is called as Redis queue message outbound channel adapter. And let's create a Redis queue message outbound channel adapter. And if you could see here, right, it's going to accept a queue name and the Redis connection factory. So the queue name I'll hard code it here. I'm going to use Redis queue, and for the connection factory, so I have to auto wire auto the chip to its connection factory here. Then set adapter dot, we'll have to handle message. So now we are going to pass in the message that we get here. And I think we don't need this because it's going to pass the message here and we are not going to return anything. So now what happens is, like, the message comes into your input channel through your interface, and it comes to this method which has the service actuator that's going to receive the input channel. It's going to print out receipt from service, and then it's going to send it to the Redis channel. The Redis channel is where you're actually going to put your message into the Redis queue and then leave it. So after you put the message in the Redis queue, we'll have to receive it, right? We'll have to take it out from the queue, or we have to get it from the queue. So for that, we have to create another service actuator. Say from queue. And let's give the input channel. So what would be the input channel? We actually configure the input channel here. So once you put the request into this Redis queue, the output channel would be receiver channel. That is, once it goes into the queue, when it comes out, it goes to the output channel, receiver channel. So this is what we have to put in the the input channel of this particular method. It's going to come here. And now let us straight away print it out. Received from Redis queue. We are not going to return anything. Let's keep it as void. So the example is done. It's a very straightforward and a simple example. Let's try to run this, and I'll also open up the Redis CLI so that you can see how the actual system works. So let me start up the server. Okay, the server is up. Alright, so you could see here, right, the system has already started to establish a connection with Redis, and Redis is not available. So let's start the Redis server now. Okay, Redis has been started. Now let's go and monitor the Redis CLI. Alright, so you could see here our Redis queue is already, acquired by the Redis, and it is constantly pinging to see if any message is coming or not. So now our initial setup is done. Let's go and fire a request from the Postman. Alright, the status is 200. Let's take a look at our console. We should be getting all the messages there. Let's take a look at our Redis queue. The Redis queue doesn't have any information. Something is wrong with our application. Let's take a look at our console. The console is empty, which means all these things didn't work. Okay, the thing is, we created this interface, right? But we didn't auto wire it to the controller. We are not sending anything here. So I'm sorry about that. Let me auto wire this here. Alright, let me stop the server and let me restart it. Okay, the servers are up and running. Let's try to send a message again. Message has been sent, and you could see here our Redis queue has a help push event on it, and our message has been posted to the queue. Let's quickly go and take a look at our console. And you could see here from our console, received from service, which is our first service actuator where our input channel is mapped. So we got the received message from the service, and now we send it to the Redis channel. It went to the channel, it went to the Redis queue, and then it came out of the queue to this particular receiver channel, and then we posted that message in the console. So what are the different use cases for using this Redis queue with Spring integration components? Well, you can make use of this to talk to other microservices in your architecture. You can use this to send requests to some legacy systems, or even you can make this a complete asynchronous application. For example, let's say I'll go to the messaging gateway. Let me do a future, so it returns a future object, or else you can go to a configuration, you implement async, implement the async configurer to make it completely asynchronous. So these are the different use cases where you can make use of this. And let's say if you're working in a Spring Cloud environment, right, then you can make use of Spring Cloud Streams, which combines Spring integration and queues and even simplifies the process a lot. So all these configurations that you make, right, can be even simplified if you use Spring Cloud Streams further. And I made this example with Redis. You can very well go ahead and use Kafka. So all you have to do is in the pom.xml. So what I did is, like, I added this Spring integration Redis. You have to use Spring integration Kafka and add all the Kafka different Spring Kafka dependencies here. And when you do this, you'll be able to use Kafka in your application, and then pretty much the same. The implementation is needed for sending messages through Kafka and receiving it. With this, we come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and please subscribe for more such videos. Thank you.